World's most coveted woman was Rita Hayworth in 1948. Her flaming red hair and seductive look charmed millions. Her movies broke box office records and were synonymous with Hollywood elegance. She was the epitome of stardom, untouchable and worth millions to the studios. Without warning, she left, not gradually or quietly, but in a bombshell move that had Tinseltown shaking. Why would the world's most attractive lady give up everything she'd strived for? As we'll see, the truth is more complicated and tragic than expected. Before becoming Rita Hayworth, Margarita Carmen Cancino was a bashful Brooklyn Spanish dancer with enormous goals. Rita was born in 1918 to entertainers and learned to move before she could speak. Her father, Eduardo Cancino, was a famous Spanish dancer, and her mother, Valga Hayworth, embodied vaudeville. The sparkling show industry facade hid a darker reality. Margarita appeared on stage before 12. Her youth was lost for family aspirations. As a young child, she was blinded by bright lights and forced to perform in adult places where men stared at her developing physique. From Margarita to Rita was more than a name change. It was identity erasure. Harry Cohn of Columbia Pictures recognized potential in the young dancer if she could change. Her natural black hair was dyed auburn, her hairline brutally elevated through electrolysis, and her Spanish background was hidden under American glamour. The world didn't know that each cosme-ticking change killed fragments of Margarita to construct Rita Hayworth's illusion. Studios didn't only make stars. They were building a prison with no escape route. The cost of perfection was becoming apparent, but no one was paying attention. By the early 1940s, Rita Hayworth was more than an actress. She was amazing. Blood and Sand, her debut role with Tyrone Power, showed she could carry a picture with a glance and a smile. Gilda in 1946 made her a global legend from a cinema star. Rita removing her long black gloves while singing Put the Blame on Mame was one of cinema's most thrilling scenes. Soldiers carried her photo into combat, bombers' nose cones had her face, and atomic bombs resembled her. She was America's dream, the woman every guy and woman sought. Numbers were astonishing. Rita made millions with her flicks. Her fan mail took up an entire department, and her income rose to $250,000 every image. Astronomical then. Her well-planned existence was filled with magazine covers, endorsements, and public appearances. Hollywood prosperity was tied to unseen chains. The studio structure ruled Rita's entire life. How she dressed, went, dated, and spoke in interviews. Sultry press pictures and staged romance hid her true self, a smart scholar who loved books and philosophy. The world's favorite was becoming a stranger to herself, and the loneliness at the top was consuming her. Fame had given her everything but the freedom to be human, which she needed most. Rita Hayworth attempted the unthinkable in 1948 at her peak. She loved a true prince. Hollywood couldn't create Prince Aly Khan, the Playboy Aga Khan heir. Real nobility, cosmopolitan sophistication, and passionate intensity that made Hollywood scripts pale. Their interaction resembled a film of hers. The prince glimpsed Rita across a packed party and fell in love. But this wasn't another Hollywood romance. Aly Khan offered Rita something no studio executive could: escape. During the courtship, European elegance abounded. Private flights to exotic destinations, nights at Paris' most exclusive clubs, and romantic dinners in castles older than America. Rita missed performing for the first time as an adult. She was loved for who she was beneath the carefully manufactured image. Hollywood was shaken by their romance. Studio executives were appalled as their most precious asset prepared to leave her rich contracts for royal leisure. The cruel Columbia Pictures CEO Harry Cohn reportedly raged that Rita was wasting millions on a foreign playboy. Press coverage was relentless and harsh. American newspapers wondered how Rita could leave her nation and job for a Muslim prince. Xenophobia and racism turned a fairy tale into a scandal that threatened Rita's life. Rita felt compelled to choose. Instead of Hollywood's golden prison, she wanted real freedom and love. Rita Hayworth's 1949 announcement to marry Prince Aly Khan was not a personal one. It directly challenged the East's whole Hollywood power structure. For 20 years, studios controlled every element of prominent actors' lives. Rita was going to show that even the most valuable goods might pick their fate. The Columbia Pictures fight was public and brutal. Harry Cohn spent millions on Rita's films and spent nearly a decade shaping her image. Her departure would devastate production plans and lose the company huge income. Behind closed doors, pressure was high. Studio executives utilized emotional manipulation, financial threats, and public humiliation. They leaked negative articles to gossip columnists, questioned her patriotism, and even claimed she was mentally ill for leaving a lucrative position. Rita had experienced autonomy, which was more valuable than money or fame. For the first time since childhood, she made judgments based on her own preferences, not studio requirements. The committee-created woman was now asserting her individuality. Escape logistics were complicated and dramatic. Contracts needed renegotiating. Legal battles. PR catastrophes managed. Rita's agents and lawyers worked 24/7 to release her from long-term responsibilities. Rita was remarkably calm and determined. She had found something worth fighting for, and Hollywood pressure couldn't keep her in the golden prison she wanted to escape. Rita's May 1949 marriage to Prince Aly Khan went beyond entertainment headlines to become a global event. The French Chateau event drew kings, celebrities, and officials from around the world. Rita appeared to have left Hollywood to live a fairy tale existence for a minute. Life as Princess Rita exceeded movie expectations. She lived on luxurious European estates and exotic Middle Eastern and Asian destinations. She worked on charities, cultural events, and sophisticated social gatherings that made Hollywood parties seem antiquated. Perhaps most crucially, Rita was uncovering decades-old elements of herself. She read much and studied languages. They engaged with international politics and culture in ways studio management could not. Finally, the smart woman beneath years of press photographs emerged. Aly Khan was her passionate and difficult partner. He was sophisticated and cultured, but used to his own way. There was true love. It existed among the complex dynamics of international high society and the pressures of managing a huge fortune and political power. Rita's newborn daughter, Princess Yasmin, added joy and complexity to her new life in December 1949. Rita always valued motherhood, and having a kid with Aly Khan marked her metamorphosis from Hollywood celebrity to European royal. But even paradise was getting darker. Royal pressures differed from Hollywood's, but they were pressures. By 1951, the fairy story was fraying. Rita's promising and passionate marriage to Prince Aly Khan was crumbling under cultural differences, personal incompatibility, and public scrutiny. Aly Khan, despite his attractiveness and intelligence, was raised in a culture where wealthy men had several affairs without consequence. Rita, who had given up all for real love, was devastated by his affairs, which his friends may have missed. Cultural adaptations were harder than expected. Despite her Spanish origin, Rita had American ideals and expectations. She became exhausted by royal life's hierarchy, ceremony, and subtle but continuous reminders that she would always be an outsider. Financial strains complicated matters. Rita lost millions by leaving Hollywood, even if the Khan family was rich. She was more financially dependent than ever since she started in show business. After romanticizing their relationship, the press focused on every sign of problems. Columnists speculated about disagreements, photographed them during difficult moments, and made their private struggles public. Perhaps most cruelly, Rita realized she had switched performance styles. Being a princess took as much image maintenance as being a movie star, and she never found her genuine life. Rita's 1952 decision startled Hollywood and European high society. She would make movies again. Her regal life didn't end here. Regaining control over her destiny and financial independence was her goal. Affair in Trinidad, her comeback film, was meant to prove Rita Hayworth still had her celebrity power. Sultry dance sequences and Rita's vulnerability and sensuality were a deliberate nod to Gilda. Rita found the play emotionally draining. As she struggled with her failing marriage, she tried to resurrect a character. Every day on set reminded her of what she lost and may gain. However, Rita's star power survived her years away from Hollywood, and the film was a huge hit. The warmth with which audiences welcomed her return showed how much they missed her on film. Rita struggled behind the scenes with the understanding that she could never escape her history. Princess Rita, formerly Margarita Cancino, had to resuscitate Rita Hayworth. 3 versions of herself felt like acts, not personalities. Her reappearance made her life more complicated. She had numerous lives tugging her in different directions, and none gave the basic sincerity she craved. Rita Hayworth and Prince Aly Khan's 1953 divorce was more than a breakup. 2 universes with different laws, expectations, and consequences collided. Multiple courts and conflicting legislation made the legal proceedings complicated and transnational. Rita's custody battle for Princess Yasmin was covered worldwide. The human expense exceeded the legal issues. Rita was again torn between identities. Hollywood wanted the alluring actress back, while Europe expected her to keep quiet like banished royalty. The settlement negotiations showed Rita's loving sacrifices. Her years away from Hollywood during her peak earnings cost her millions, and her financial situation was worse than popular perception. Rita had to make a terrible decision for her daughter's future. Rita worked in America, but Yasmin's royal title and inheritance were with the Khans. Their custody agreements kept them apart for months. Rita's fairy tale marriage's darker side was revealed during divorce. Ali Khan's affairs, financial manipulations, and Rita's independence loss throughout their time together revealed. Rita understood she had escaped one control just to find herself in another, and now she had to start over. By the mid-1950s, Rita Hayworth was struggling with more than career and relationship difficulties. She struggled to discover who she was beneath her lifelong aliases. Margarita Cancino dreamed of art as a kid performer. Rita Hayworth was a sex symbol made for men. Princess Rita sought authenticity via love and escape. As she approached 40, Rita felt like a stranger to herself. This identity issue affected her work and relationships. She played more introspective, complicated parts with depth and vulnerability than her earlier sensuous roles. Audiences and critics preferred the fantastical version they had always known, resisting this development. During this time, she desperately sought a partner who loved her for who she was, not her image. Her shyness and fame doubt made genuine interactions difficult. Potential lovers were intimidated or attracted to her celebrity for unwanted reasons. Rita realized that her greatest tragedy wasn't her divorce or career struggles. She realized that celebrity had cost her authenticity. So many years of being what others wanted made her forget what she wanted. This existential crisis drove many unsettling decisions in the years that followed. Rita chose more than one career. Reclaiming her soul was her battle. Rita Hayworth made another Hollywood-baffling decision in 1958. She married Dick Haymes, a struggling singer whose personal issues were becoming public. It looked like a step down from her previous marriage and star status to outsiders. Rita's decision revealed her deepest desires. Haymes represented the possibility of a normal life without image pressure or impossible expectations. He was talented but human, successful but approachable, and loved Rita for herself, not her fame. Early on, their relationship was passionate but troubled. Haymes struggled with alcohol, money, and being married to a famous woman. Rita tried to balance career and domestic happiness. Rita's most mature and nuanced film performances occurred during the marriage. She expanded her acting and singing skills in Pal Joey, demonstrating her growth from her early roles. However, balancing her career and family was costly. Rita struggled to balance her career and her desire to create the home she had never had. A child. Her marriage to Haymes strained as his problems grew. Rita realized she couldn't save others while she struggled with herself. She again wondered if authentic love was possible for someone who had spent their adult life as a public fantasy after their 1955 divorce. Rita Hayworth's stardom was becoming obsolete by the late 1950s as Hollywood changed. New actors were bringing different styles and sensibilities to the screen. Television was changing how audiences watched entertainment, and the studio system that created her was crumbling. Rita was too attached to the 1940s glamour to adapt to the grittier realism of the time, but she was too smart and experienced to fade into nostalgia. Conclusion. Rita Hayworth's transformation from Margarita Cancino to global icon to tragic figure is one of Hollywood's most complex and heartbreaking tales. She found fame, fortune, and immortal beauty in the entertainment industry, but not the authentic life and love she craved. She left Hollywood at her peak because she knew her worth. She knew staying would mean continued success, but permanent imprisonment in a role that became more suffocating with time. Rita's legacy transcends movies and image. She represents everyone who has felt trapped by others' expectations and found the courage to break free, no matter what. Her story shows that behind every huge figure is a hum and a being with the same needs for love, understanding, and authentic expression as us. Rita Hayworth stayed in Hollywood. Despite the hardship and cost, she chose herself over Hollywood, a victory of human spirit over commercial exploitation. She had a fairy tale and a tragedy, but most importantly, her own. Why did Rita make such a drastic decision at the height of her career? Leave a comment and like and subscribe for more untold Hollywood Golden Age stories. The real stories of our favorite stars are often more interesting and human than the myths.